Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Presidents sound off following Sunday's BPL press conference.
The Bahamas Civil Aviation Authority responds to criticisms levied against them by Sky Bahamas.
Youth sound off on the high cost of living in the country.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joachim. Topping news tonight, the construction of the nearly $100 million Wärtsilä plant at Clifton Pier is nearly 3 months behind schedule. That's according to Wärtsilä Business Development Manager Edmund Phillips, who says the delay comes despite BPL officials pushing for the project to be finished in nearly half the time it would usually take to build a plant that size. Jasmine Brown has more.
Now that we are in it, we've already started the project. We are well on our way with the project. The estimate now to complete this plan is December 15, 2019.
Phillips made the admission during Sunday's Bahamas Power and Light press conference, which was held at Clifton Pier. The new timeline is months after BPL officials and Public Works Minister Desmond Bannister insisted the plant would be finished. The initial completion date was September, but Phillips said unexpected factors contributed to the delay.
A project of this magnitude, there's always unknowns, okay? So when we first looked at the site, we gave some estimates to BPL. Wärtsilä gave estimates to BPL where we were saying early fall.
BPL officials have long touted the new plant as a solution to BPL's severe power generation issues, as they promise relief to consistent load shedding exercises that have left thousands of Bahamians without power for hours in recent months. Well, BPL officials admitted in the press conference that there is no timeline for the end of load shedding, noting that the power company is on the edge. But Phillips sought to defend BPL executives.
It's a 15-month process, but we've been hammered by the board of BPL. Hammered to get this done in nine months. Hammered. So our guys are working day and night trying to get this thing fast.
As Wärtsilä works on completing the plant, BPL board chairman Donovan Moxey said it is just the first phase of the management team's generation turnaround strategy. Moxey said the development of the LNG facility by Shell North America is another phase. The BPL chair says the LNG facility should be completed by the end of 2021. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, nearly 1 year after the first of 3 fires damaged equipment at BPL's Clifton Pier power plant, officials are still remaining tight-lipped on the matter. Although an investigation into the fires was completed last year, the results have not yet been released to the public. BPL executives were asked about the issue during yesterday's press conference.
To date, we still have no report, nothing. What caused
We're here to talk about generation, the current generation needs. I'm not going to address the fire issue.
Why not?
Let's have a separate conference relative to the fires. We're here to. Well, let's take that up in another press conference.
But senior editor for the Nassau Guardian, Warren McCartney, pushed the issue, prompting Hasty to give this response.
You yourself mentioned the destruction, or Donovan Moxey mentioned the destruction of D11 and D12. That's $60 million. Why can't we know what's going on with that?
Once again, Mr. McCartney, we are here.
Violation of its fiduciary duty to the Bahamian public by not disclosing that report or the deal with Wärtsilä. If Mr. Moxey can answer that.
No, I want to answer that. And here's why I want to answer that. Because the loss of Station C, right, is not the reason why we're here today. We had 270 megawatts we had planned in our generation fleet to carry us through summer. I think that's important for everybody to understand. It's not as if we depended on Station C to carry us through the summer. That was not the case.
Well, BPL consumers are calling for a more thorough explanation into what really is going on with the power provider. Giorgio Bain has that story.
Following a press conference held on Sunday afternoon by Bahamas Power and Light officials, BPL CEO Whitney Hasty says he's still not sure when the company will be able to get a better handle on this load shedding exercise situation, while today residents sound off saying that they need more of an explanation.
According to Hasty, we cannot guarantee load shedding will not take place because we are on the edge. We're on the cliff. David McGoran and his family call the Bahamas home for the summer. Since returning to the capital, McGoran says it has been a consistent nightmare of 3 to 4 hour power outages, and after Sunday's press conference, he's still awaiting a proper explanation on what's really happening.
They need to do something better than that. That's not reassuring to anybody. If you're a small business owner and you can't afford to have a generator, or you're running a business where there isn't a generator, your production's down.
Corey Thompson said the unpredictable electricity situation has left him and his friends saving to purchase a generator, especially after hearing that there could be no end in sight.
I think in 2019, we've been hearing this quite a bit. We heard that before. And we've been dealing with this load shedding for years now. So I think it's far past time that we get into more solar energy.
Ricardo Thompson says he was left a little confused after Sunday's press conference, as it seemed that there was no one who had the answers to this crisis.
From what I acknowledge, it seems like they have no answer to the question, because he said there were two generators that was down, on the present two. They can fail at any time, and he had no idea when this load shedding is going to end.
Joan Forsyth said the Bahamas' electricity issue is proof on how far behind we are as a nation.
It's terrible, because the other night I got up about 11. The power didn't come back on until about 3 in the morning. And then the next day it was time to get ready to go to work. And the power went off about 8 o'clock. Didn't come back on until 11, 12. So it's really, really unfair to us.
Brenda Smith said she has had to completely alter her life from grocery shopping to sleep patterns, and said that if the situation cannot be corrected, Bahamians deserve compensation.
I think we just need to do something about it. I don't know what we could do. I guess, like Rodney Munn could say, March, as well as I think they should give you a discount on your bills, because you still have to pay your light bill, because right now I'm heading to Cash and Go to pay mine.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Georgia Bain.
The Civil Aviation Authority responding to claims made by Sky Bahamas CEO Captain Randy Butler over its inability to have its air operator certificate renewed. The authority's Director General, during a press conference today, said they will not be strong-armed into doing anything by the airline. Jillian Gray has more.
BCAA Director General Charles Benaby said the authority will not be bullied into granting Sky Bahamas an air operator's certificate, adding that the airline only complied with half of the safety requirements.
Unless the authority is satisfied that the operator meets the required standards, we will not. Charles Bernard Benaby will not grant approval for that operation.
Sky Bahamas has been grounded since July, and its CEO, Captain Randy Butler, said the company has lost millions of dollars in expected revenue. Butler further claimed that his company is being targeted. While the company has fixed half of the 9 infractions outlined by the BCAA, the company hit another snag in compliance after an overdue bill caused them their space in the airport. Butler cleared up claims that the company's troubles with NAD stemmed from the BCAA's investigation. He added that while the entire situation is unfortunate, it is not a personal attack, as the association is not in the business of shutting down companies.
Sky Bahamas is not being singled out. This is not an act of sabotage. There is no political consideration, certainly on the part of the authority. The issuance and renewal of an air operator certificate involves a process.
Benaby said that while planes are cleared for takeoff, the problem is that Sky Bahamas' safety systems still must be addressed. He outlined the fact that there is no safety systems manager within the organization, and in some cases, pilots were missing crucial documentation.
We had a case where a pilot did not have a valid medical. Amongst his technical and other capabilities, the pilot must possess a valid medical for the category and class that he operates under. The system that was intended to monitor that failed. So on a number of instances, we had flights being operated by an individual who did not have a valid medical.
Benaby also slammed the notion that one of their investigators deliberately sabotaged Sky Bahamas' safety examination. He added that this is not the first time Sky Bahamas has been at odds with the BCAA, but they've been able to work through it in the past, and he's willing to work with the company now. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
All right, thanks, Jillian. Still to come, we look more into what's set to happen with the new Wärtsilä plant. Plus, is BPL's load shedding issue turning away investors? Stay tuned.